Okay, this is the Baltimore County Public Schools Office of Elementary Science Wiki that I developed as part of my internship with this cohort program. And I'm very proud of this wiki because I really felt it was the next step in the evolution of my skills pertaining to wikis. At the very beginning of the cohort program, I had piloted as one of the first elementary school people to use a wiki with students, and then a year and a half or two after I used it with my students, which I continue to use to this day, I created a wiki for use at our school level and have instituted several professional developments and really tried to establish it as a meaningful online collaboration tool for our school. And so when the internship came around, it really felt as though going to the district level was the next progression in the evolution of my wiki skills. So I'd done one in my classroom, one at the school level, and now one at the district level. And so this is what I came up with. When I first pitched it to the Office of Science, I really only had certain categories in mind. I really only anticipated having resource links to Baltimore County Public Schools resources, and the thought behind that was that there's so many resources that are available through Baltimore County that they have purchased and used and have up on the website that it's often hard to find exactly where everything is because there's no one centralized location. No one has ever taken the time to go through and call out what is important for which subject area and so on. And so I felt that that would be a beneficial starting point. One of the main things I really wanted to get was the two following sections, which was the eCollaborate and the Uploaded Resources section. eCollaborate would be what I envisioned was just a place for teachers to go on and to discuss any questions that they had on specific units or a specific lesson, instead of emailing back and forth to other teachers that they may know or just emailing the Office of Science. This way they could go on and say, hey, I have a question on this unit, this lesson, and get direct feedback from either the Office of Science or fellow teachers from across the county. And that way, if any other teachers had something similar, they could go on and find an answer without having to wait. And the Uploaded Resources section was what I envisioned as a place where teachers could who create worksheets or reviews or modified versions of things could upload them to the wiki underneath of the grade level, then the unit, and then it would be accessible for all students so that we wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel every time we wanted to do something creative. My final initial section was the Web 2.0 resources, again, because there are so many Web 2.0 resources out there and that are available. It's often good to have a list that has been gone through and given some thought so people don't have to spend a whole lot of time reinventing the wheel trying to find new things. They can go with things that are useful, that have been tried or tested or other people know about, and so that they can use that as a launching pad for where they want to go. Since I started creating the wiki, it became obvious to me through discussions with the Office of Science, with other teachers, and then just revelations of my own as I just went through the project, that it would be important to have 3 additional sections. One was for STEM fair coordinators. In the past, the Office of Science had employed something called Group Site, which was somewhat like a wiki, but not quite. It was fee-based that they had to pay for, and with budget constraints, that program went away. And so last year, STEM Fair coordinators had no place to collaborate online, no online file cabinet, no place for a calendar to say, here's when I'm having my STEM Fair, and so on. So I really felt it was important to put this section in there as a place for STEM Fair coordinators to say, hey, I need these judges, can anyone help me? Here's when my STEM Fair is, and so on. I also decided that it would be a good idea to put a file cabinet up, because this is a place, if the Office of Science wants to send out emails that pertain to specific documents, instead of them living in the email server and being deleted after 90 days as per Baltimore County policy, they could live on the wiki interminably until the Office of Science would choose to remove them. And then finally, one of Eric Cromwell, who is the coordinator of elementary science, one of his initiatives this year is to start thinking about the next phase of scientific learning with our students, and that is interactive science notebooks. after attending a professional development that he ran, I felt it would be a good idea, and he agreed that we would put a section on the wiki for interactive science notebooks so that people could upload work samples, and they could upload any other works related to interactive student science notebooks so that other teachers could use that as a launching place. So what I'd like to do is just briefly go through each of the sections to give you kind of a taste of what each one is. The BCPS resource links. Well, before I go any further, at the top of each section, I tried to make it very uniform, very organized, very user-friendly, very easy to navigate through. And at the top of every section, I have the purpose, the procedure to adhere to, and applicable Baltimore County Public Schools policies and rules coming directly from board policies and rules, and they link right there, and if you click on them, they take you directly to the applicable policy or rule. And then it also tells you how to find the resources. Underneath of that, I created a screencast video just like this one, walking participants through each section of the wiki as appropriate so that they would be able to easily navigate in case they forgot something from professional development, never attended a professional development, were new. This way they could just see briefly how this section was designed to work. So this is the Baltimore County Public Schools resource link site, and it's alphabetized, so it's quick if you know what you want. Let's say I want the e-news. I would click on E. It would take me down to e-news. I click on the link, and right there I have the elementary science e-news. Close the window and I'm back to the wiki. Let's say I'm down here real far and I don't want to scroll. I just hit top and it takes me back up to the top, and I can choose any letter that I want. I can then hit the wiki button to go back home, or on the sidebar I can find all of my sections. I'll just hit home. Going to the eCollaborate section. eCollaborate is broken down into the 3 intermediate science grades. I'm going to click on 5th grade, and you can see here that it's broken into each of the science units, and I used the very same logos that the Office of Science used on their curriculum so that it was familiar to the users so that they could recognize it from the student answer data booklets and also from the unit curriculum guides. And if you just click on the unit, you can see here that the entire purpose is for people to ask questions, to respond to each other, to put links, etc., etc. And you can see here that we've got a little bit of a beginning of a dialogue. Going back to the home, the next section is the file cabinet. This is something that all users can see, but only administrators, people from the Office of Science, have the ability to upload to. But you can see here that there are many materials that have been uploaded that are available to anyone with access to the wiki. Next is the Interactive Science Notebook. This is another repository, and again, it's set up this time a little bit differently. Anyone can upload or edit documents here, and the reason for that was we wanted people to upload student work samples of their Interactive Science Notebooks here so that others could view it, and you can see that some people have started to do that. We go student work samples, and we do have some here. Going back to the main page, STEM Fair coordinators. The main purpose of this one is a calendar so that people could post their STEM Fair date. And if we go to April, we see a lot of people have started to post their STEM Fair dates here. And what this allows the Office of Science to see when various schools are having their STEM Fair, and also other schools to see when other schools are having their fair, to see if they need help, and people can make comments below as well. Okay, going back to the main page once again, we get to the uploaded resources. This is probably the section I'm most proud of. We'll go into 5th grade. Again, we see that all the sections are classified by the logo that is depicted on the front of the student data and answer workbooks and unit curriculum guides. Again, let's just go ahead and go to weather. And here you can see People have been uploading various resources, and with this section, in every section I link directly to the Baltimore County resources that are already available to the unit. Takes the user right to that section for every single unit for 3, 4, and 5. And I created a teacher checklist for uploading resources. And the reason behind that is because I wanted to have some kind of quality control, because it would be impossible for the Office of Science to individually go through every single uploaded resource. It was important that teachers understand that there has to be a certain level of discretion when uploading. Not just anything can be uploaded. So it's just a pretty basic step-by-step. It gives models of what the end product needs to be. Tells teachers the policies and rules to adhere to when uploading. And basically teachers can just go through and they can add information into the box, and then when they're done they just copy and paste the information into the table back on the wiki. And they have a title, they have the state curriculum, soon to be Common Core Next Gen Science Standards. They have a little description of what it is, and then a web link, or they can embed a video, etc., however the resource happens to be. And the final section of the wiki is the Web 2.0 resources section. And again, I just really wanted people to have access to a list of Web 2.0 resources that would be applicable to science, and these are ones that I've either used or someone in the Office of Science has used. And this is closed right now, but if they want to, people can add to this list by contacting the Office of Science, and then they'll put it right up there. But we have the name, again it's alphabetically organized, and it has the name, the URL, and then a brief description. And if a tutorial exists, I linked right to the tutorial, and click on the link and it'll take you right to the resource. So going back to the wiki, this in a nutshell is my entire internship. It's still ongoing. I still periodically do work and updates on it, and I'm very excited about this project.